Hey, good evening. I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at StockMarketMentor.com, and it's Monday, November 2nd. Okay, we're having a real puke fest over at Chipotle because of an E. coli issue. I'm all for E. coli, just not in any contact with the human race. Okay, so they've got an issue. Closed a bunch of restaurants. I think it was like 43, something like that. But here's the thing. So the stock gapped, it's gapped down before. I mean, this has just been a pretty much of a nightmare few weeks for Chipotle. So the stock gaps down over 8% here and then rallies a bit and then ultimately gaps down again. Okay, here it's gapped down, 4 whatever percent. Here's what's interesting. It's gapped down to 610. Okay, if you look at 600, this is a pretty solid floor for this stock. So I'm telling you, this is actually not a bad buy point right here. And I'm not generally the guy. I like Chipotle. I mean, I like their food. I just want to make sure everybody's washed their hands. But I'm not generally the guy to buy a stock that's just broken like this. But I think here, I'll make an exception to that. This stock is oversold, huge volume, but the cool thing is the stock closed higher than it opened. So if we look at the daily chart, you can see when, the news obviously came out before the market opened. The stock printed the low of the day, like the first minute that the stock traded, and then after that it was basically all uphill. So I think you don't even have to put a stop at 600 or a little bit below 600. Let me get rid of the after hours stuff here. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, you don't even have to, if you're buying the stock at 623, don't say, oh, well then I'll put a stop at like 598 or something, just in case the stock comes down to 600 and then stops me out and then it bounces without me. So you put your stop a little bit below there. I don't even think you have to do that. I think you look at today's intraday low of 608.52, and that's how you define your risk. Because you're making a short-term trade anyway if you're buying it. So taxes aren't really an issue. So you buy the stock now, you put your stop in. Let's hang on. Sorry about that. Not that you have any choice but to wait. Put your stop in there, a little below 609. You got a $13 risk on a $623 trade stock. That's not a bad risk reward, and you're getting this stock, as we look at it here, after a definitive bottom. If, though, the, quote, definitive bottom turns out not to be so definitive, you want to get out of there. Don't sit there and wait around for the stock to come here. So anyway, I hope this helps. Members, I've got like 3 or 4 stocks that are actually at really good buy points right now, and I'm talking a lot about just trading in this one. So please don't blow it off and don't get impatient with the first part either. We got some good trades that we need to get to tomorrow.